It's that time of year again. I've seen a lot of questions lately from people wondering how to celebrate holidays when you homeschool. How much time do you take off from the traditional lessons? Is it okay to take time off? And what activities do you plan? Well, witches, grab a cup of brew and pull up a toadstool, because today I'm sharing how we plan to celebrate Halloween. A good day. You may know me as Carrie, the headmaster of Tri-Village Academy, LLC. However, on Halloween, I am better known as Professor Mooncotcha, the beloved guest teacher whom my students absolutely adore. And while I normally only fill in for Miss Carrie during the summer months to bring a little extra magic to the summer camp program, I have decided to pay the students a special visit this Halloween. Which leads me to the first and perhaps the most important aspect of our Halloween celebration, and that is get into character. Over the last several years, there's been a movement in some public and private schools to limit or even ban costumes and celebrations of Halloween. The beauty of homeschooling is you get to decide what to celebrate and how to celebrate. And in our classroom, Halloween is a day of dress up and imaginative play for all ages, myself included. And to start, that means showing off our costumes. I normally encourage students to wear their costumes for our day together, with the exception of any outdoor exploration or forest play they decide to do, for the sake of my student safety and making sure costumes return home in one piece. I find that getting into character and dressing the part sets the tone for our Halloween celebration. My students enjoy seeing one another's costumes, and as a parent, I appreciate knowing that the costumes will be worn more than just once for trick-or-treating. So if it works for you in your homeschool setting, I say dress the part. Now, it wouldn't be a celebration without some festive games. These 3 are perfect for Halloween. I will share links to all of these games in the video description below. The first is a game some of you may recognize from your childhood, Ghost Party or Midnight Party. This is a roll and move hide-and-seek style board game. The party guests, or players, roll to move around the board, hiding from Hugo the ghost. There is some simple math practice to this game involving the addition of positive and negative numbers, so it is great to play with a mixed age group. Older players can help the younger learners with reviewing simple addition skills and introduce the concept of adding negative numbers. This game is a bit more difficult to find in this form because it is no longer produced as Ghost Party or Midnight Party. However, it can be purchased used off of eBay or from another secondhand retailer. It is available currently in a similar gameplay under a new name, Escape from the Hidden Castle, and it can be purchased on Amazon or from another major retailer. The second game we'll be playing at our Halloween celebration is one of my favorites. Absolute Dice, the Halloween edition. I am a huge fan of all Absolute Dice games, and the festive ones add great fun to our holiday celebrations. This is a roll and count game where players take turns rolling the dice and adding up points based off of the pictures they roll. Of course, the special silver and gold dice award more points. This game has simple, easy-to-follow rules and can even be tweaked to allow for additional skill practice. I created a spooktacular graphing activity to pair with this game that allows students to practice making bar graphs. Now, I will say this game ships from the UK, but shipping is usually super fast and their customer service is unmatched. They also have a special offer that by purchasing one Absolute Dice game, they will send you a second for free. Leave them a note at checkout if there's a particular set you're interested in. The third game is a cooperative game, Cauldron Quest. Working together, 4 players collect 3 spell ingredients and move them into the cauldron. Players must combine their knowledge to avoid the evil wizard and the other elements that may block their paths. This game combines math skills with teamwork and cooperation, and while it is geared toward the ages 6 to 8, even my older students enjoy the cooperative teamwork elements of the game. While we enjoy the teamwork aspect of cooperative games, it never hurts to add in a little healthy competition, right? We have this tradition in my household where every year around Christmas time, we bust out the candy and host a friendly gingerbread house competition. I wanted to bring that fun into the classroom for Halloween through one of my students' favorite activities, Legos. This year, we will host Tri-Village Academy's first ever Haunted House Lego Challenge. Here's how I'm planning. I've stocked up and selected the spookiest Lego pieces and accessories to fill small boxes. Each box will contain random spooky parts like spider webs, chains, skeletons, bats, cauldrons, and so on. Each box will be slightly different to encourage students to keep their builds unique. Students will roll a dice to determine who selects the first small box. Once all students have their chosen boxes with their spooky accessories, I start a timer and we are off building. Students will have the choice to trade parts with one another or to access the group Lego station for any building parts they may need. When the timer sounds, students will present their Lego haunted houses, providing any background stories they created to go along with their builds. I will then award prizes for the spookiest build, the silliest build, and the most creative build, along with first place, second place, and third place ribbons. Legos are a staple in our homeschooling classroom, and I'm very excited to see what inspiration my students bring to this fun Halloween activity. While our Halloween will be filled with plenty of games and spooktacular fun, we do incorporate traditional lessons as well. For language arts, I read spooky poetry, we complete Halloween-inspired Mad Libs, and we will write our own spooky tales using Storytime dice, Scary Tales. Not only do these dice glow in the dark, but they are great for even the earliest learners to practice their storytelling skills. We roll the dice to set up the story, establishing our setting, characters, plot twists, and so on, and then we write independently for a short amount of time before taking turns reading our stories out loud to compare what we each came up with based on what the dice suggested. If your children are just learning to write, have them draw a picture alongside any writing they may be able to accomplish independently. Rather than writing, you can also practice oral storytelling, passing the story from one person to the next until all elements from the dice have been added in. Again, there is a lot of wiggle room for flexibility here in how you can use this particular resource to fit your homeschool based on the number of children you teach, their ages, and their skill sets. The games I selected for our Halloween celebration are heavy in math skills, so I'll be keeping the Halloween math lesson brief. We will learn about estimation, a new concept for my younger learners, and a tasty treat for all. I will pass out 10 candies to each student. Using the visual of those 10 candies, students will estimate how many candies I've added to a jar. The closest to the actual number of candies within the jar will get to keep the jar and the candy as a prize. I choose to differentiate social studies lessons for Halloween, with younger students reviewing Halloween safety rules and learning about the origins of Halloween, including fun trivia of how the holiday has transformed over time. My older students investigate the Salem witch trials of 1692 and 1693, comparing primary and secondary resources. For science, we'll be digging into pumpkins, literally. Students will weigh, measure, and make scientific observations of their pumpkins before digging into the guts of the subject and learning more about pumpkin anatomy through dissection. I like to pair our pumpkin investigations with the book, How Many Seeds in a Pumpkin? This book connects lessons of math and science through pumpkin exploration. Prior to cutting into our pumpkins, I ask students to make a hypothesis about how many seeds they expect to find. We write down their predictions and then share the story together. By the time I finish reading the story, students are eager to see if their pumpkins are similar to those in the story. I'll share a link to this book in the video description below. Of course, there are so many fun options for Halloween science, like mixing up potions with a little chemistry or using STEM skills to construct candy launchers. Because there are so many great options, we'll be spreading out the Halloween science fun all week long. There you have it, our Halloween celebration plans. Yes, it is okay to give your homeschooling students and yourself a break from the norm during holidays. As you can see, I packed our Halloween day pretty full, so do what works for you. Choose one activity or sprinkle several into your schedule throughout the week. When it comes to Thanksgiving, I plan to take a few days off completely from homeschooling and simply enjoy having my children learn in the kitchen alongside me while we prepare some family recipes. But more on that later. I hope you found this video helpful for adding a little magic into your own celebrations this Halloween. Stay tuned for my next video showcasing my favorite Halloween read-alouds. If you still have questions about homeschooling, visit tryvillageacademy.com. There you can sign up for one of our courses and join our homeschooling community. And remember, it takes a village.